The minister was already seated. Search.
By not going through the matters that could be internal affairs of the NRM, probably handled by the tribunal, but there are those broad issues, Right Honourable Speaker, that are cross-cutting and on which side of aisle you stand, they are here for Ugandans, and as a result, Honourable Speaker, I'll just talk about those that concern all of us, irrespective. Right Honourable Speaker, the issue about violence meted out to the people, to the voters, and the systematic way, I pity and I don't envisage what is coming, whereby, for instance, there was a communication blackout, telephone masts were hacked, and we couldn't communicate. Some were vandalized, and those who were able to communicate were communicating using military walkie-talkies. So for them, they continued communicating on walkie-talkies, whereas we had communication blackout, the ordinary one we use. Right, Honourable Speaker, we had more than 40 commonly known as drones with covered number plates and double cabins with covered number plates. But on top of that, on top of those who are putting on civilians in those vehicles, there were the outright use of military vehicles, particularly the notorious lorry H4DF 3329, with combat-ready soldiers driving around in support of those Nkoni squad meaning people who are wielding sticks. Right, Honourable Speaker, using live ammunition, the use of live ammunition, and the creation of a barracks that isn't known in our police statements, because barracks are set up by the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces. But in the Wenyaga case, a barracks was set up to incarcerate abducted election coordinators and agents. Madam Speaker, was happening. And that cannot be an individual action. That cannot be a general Russian action. You see, it has now moved from individual competition to adversaries, to enemies, to belligerents. In a country where there is no insurgency, there is no inactivity to warrant the establishment of a military barracks. But suddenly, Right Honourable Speaker and members, on the 26th of April, we were having a peaceful rally, and soldiers came driving in a military truck, the H4DF 3329, disembarked, and started shooting at us. They first shot down up, changing magazines. At that time, once you are being shot at from a distance of 5 meters, you can't run. You stand to die. You can't run. I can't say I was strong-hearted, but it doesn't give you room to run, even if you wanted to. But now there is this young man who said, "Honorable, they've come to kill you." He came and stood in front of me. And I thought, I pushed him away, Vako, meaning get away from me, because he himself had life. Little did I know that as I was pushing him, a bullet hit my finger, and it took him, shattered his heart, and he collapsed. Banku Yesasi. He died on the spot. That bullet was made for me because my shirt, my yellow movement shirt, was split with blood of that Fred Ssemujju. It is agonizing that you can't even sleep to know you would not be here, you would be dead. You can't be sure you would be here. I knew I would be dead. Once you realize the circumstances of Fred Ssemujju's death. But most painful, the culprit, Lieutenant Ziwa, who came aboard that truck and was coming. At first, himself, he didn't have the rifle in his hands. He moved and picked one from one of the soldiers. He came and held it under his armpit, and he turned and released the bullet that shot Ssemujju, right, all speaker members. Now the issue, the killer soldier, Lieutenant Ziwa, maintained his barracks at Remiyaga. He continued there, and today he's in Remiyaga. He's the same Ziwa who even shot at us on the 17th when we were having NRM primaries, shattering the glasses of my vehicle. The same person. So untouchable. I remember at the burial of Ssemujju, the commandant of the mechanized division massacre, Major General Sunday, assured the mourners that Lieutenant Ziwa is being held by Yame for interrogation. It was a lie. He's still around. He even shot at me on 17th again. Even the chairman's elections, he was still there commanding the operations. And to this, right honorable speaker, those who know the president's intolerance with the use of a gun, how did we arrive at this? For a person to kill, injuring an MP, but also there is another Moses Tebengana, had 8 stitches on his head. He was so lucky that the bullet only went through the skin of the head. It is his vein that got ruptured. It bleeded for 2 days, but now he's okay. But how come that the guns that are supposed to be protecting civilians are being turned against the people? Right, fellow speaker and members, when all this is said and done, the level of impunity, the soldiers who retired took command. They were not merely opponents, but they took command of the UPDF. There is General Phineas Katirima, and that General Phineas Katirima is the one who even abducted the polling officials and removed the election materials. But the last one, right, honorable speaker, before the last election, the Inspector General of Police, Mr. Bias Byakagaba, came to Sembabule and assured all of us that the President of Uganda, His Excellency President Yoweri Museveni, had taken a decision to withdraw the army and allow the police to take the lead. But what we witnessed was the total reverse. The army came back with vengeance. I remember when they were shooting at us, the police ran away. They abandoned us. And wherever the army could appear, the police would somehow find their way out and drive away. And we have the generals, General Phineas Katirima, General Emmanuel Rashad, who is the candidate, but turned into commanding the UPDF. He's the one who ordered Ziwa to go and clear us. And when the officer went back and reported to him, he said, I thought you had killed someone. You killed the dog. That Ssekikuubo was never killed because somebody else was killed.
Thank you. Honorable Ssekikuubo.
Yes.
The statement that you're giving is under Rule 57. That's a personal explanation. You are not in the House. So bring that personal explanation. We look at it, then we shall give you a chance to present it to the House. But that does not mean, can you sit down? That does not mean that we should not investigate this. We will ask government, Honorable Bua, government, there is a Minister General. We will ask government to investigate this, But I'll need a personal explanation from you. We go through and then we shall give you space to come and present.
I want to thank you, Right Honourable Speaker.
Honourable Speaker, I want to thank you for your communication. Firstly, it was about the roads. I'm glad that we are on the same page even with colleagues now. A couple of months ago, Honourable Speaker, we were here talking about the shambolic state of our roads in Kampala and different parts of the country. Some colleagues said we were politicizing these matters, but the reality is that our roads are in a mess. During our alternative ministerial policy statement presentations, specifically the one on roads, we said, look, let's inject more money to fix our roads, to maintain our roads. That has got to be done. And Honourable Speaker, while some roads are in bad state, there are some roads that are totally impassable. Some districts in this country, one cannot easily cross over from one district to another because the roads are totally impassable. Where there is meant to be a bridge, the bridge broke down a long time ago. And so there is a total disconnect between one district to another. We need to fix these issues. When we talk about them, colleagues, stop saying this is politics. It is not politics because we are all affected. We hope that government will wake up to the reality to fix these issues. Honourable Speaker, I want to again join you in, I don't know whether to congratulate colleagues that went through their processes successfully. And the reason is we are waiting for them around the corner. So enjoy that win while it lasts because we are surely waiting for you around the corner. But I also want to commiserate and console those that did not make it. May the good Lord strengthen you. Honourable Speaker, you see, it's important for our electoral processes, first of all, to be violence-free. We've been talking about colleagues that survived violence, Honourable Ssekikuubo and others. The Prime Minister was slapped or punched or both. But at least she's alive, right, Honourable Speaker. There are several people who died during these NRM primaries in various districts. And we are yet to see justice prevail. You know, many times people die, people are killed, and we easily move on. This has got to stop. And so for me, I condemn this. Even though those that died are NRM supporters, they are Ugandans. And we hope that whoever participated in these killings gets to be brought to book. Because if that does not happen, right, Honourable Speaker, we are going to see a repeat or even worse in the upcoming general elections. So action has got to be taken. Because if that doesn't happen, those who killed, now that was just during the NRM primaries, at the grand scale, it's probably going to be worse. We have got to condemn this, and action has got to be taken. Honourable Speaker, we have said severally that it's important for our electoral processes, our democratic processes, to exude integrity. And some colleagues laugh at those issues and say, well, you opposition people, each time you talk about those things, because you're always losing. I saw powerful people, I saw ministers crying, saying, I have been rigged out. These are things that we have always talked about. Of course, now it's happening in your home. But that's what happens nationally. We need to work towards electoral process integrity. And look, even the current laws, and we are waiting for the regulations coming from the Minister of Justice. But you see, even our current jurisprudence as it is, if we were to follow it to the letter, our laws don't allow, for example, for the military to get involved in electoral processes. That's the law as it exists today. But the military keeps getting involved at every turn. We saw what happened in the Kawempe by-elections. That has got to stop. That doesn't have to wait for amendment of a certain law or whatever. It's already a law in place. Can we execute it that way? So colleagues on this side, whenever we talk about these things, and some of you, perhaps not all of you, some of you say, well, opposition, you're crying as usual. That's what happens. When a boat is sinking, no one is safe in a sinking boat. No one. And that's what is happening now. So you need to join us to say we need to have integrity enough I was saying that all of us have got to speak in unison, that we need to have integrity in our democratic processes. Because when it happens to us and you laugh about it, it's going to come. Because when this boat is sinking, regardless where you are seated, you know, I'm told in these cruises there is first class, also business, economy. Even if you're in the business of first class of that sinking boat, you will sink. The minister is asking for clarification. With the speaker's permission, I can take the clarification.
Yes,
let me take
Minister.
Right, Honourable Speaker, I want to thank the Lord for giving me this opportunity to seek clarification. He has kept on alluding on the name. Is it the NOP vote? A NOP vote? Yeah.
I can clarify, including members here being bruised, were NRM primaries.
Honourable members.
So I think I've clarified. Thank you, Honourable Speaker.
Honourable members, we said before the internal processes. Now the internal processes leave it to the party. Yes, Honourable Oboth.
Leave matters of internal party issues to those that concerns them.
That is indoor management role.
Because I see some of the colleagues who cannot even go through a primary of 10 people. They are talking.
Thank you. Honourable members. Honourable members. Honourable members. I will want a report. Government, we will give you 2 months to give us a report of an investigation on Honourable Ssekikuubo's issue. Next item.
Item 3.
Honourable members, pursuant to Article 91(1) of the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda and Rule 134 of the Rules of Procedure, report first.
Right, Honourable Speaker, Honourable members.
Criminality. Matters of internal processes will be handled by the NRM party. The issue of Honourable Oboth, if at all he used a chopper, it's right. He's a minister of that department. Why don't you question when I use it? Why don't you question when I use it? And if you also want, ask for it and you will be given. That is going too personal. Yes, Honourable Bua.
For the record, I am not a minister of state. I know, Honorable Ssemujju, you want me not even to be a minister at all. But by God's grace, I am the Cabinet Minister of Defense. And there is no record that I use the chopper for my primaries. One of the equipments I have as a minister includes vehicles, helicopters, Sukhois. So this is what is available to me.
Honourable